Putin declares martial law in 4 regions of Ukraine. Russian President Vladimir Putin said martial law will be introduced across 4 regions of eastern and southern Ukraine, which Moscow illegally annexed after staged referendums last month, despite not fully controlling these areas either politically or militarily. The move signals an intensifying effort to achieve his military objectives amid continuing airstrikes on infrastructure targets. Military officials will take direct responsibility for civilian government functions in the Donetsk, Luhansk, Kherson and Zaporizhia regions, Putin said at a meeting of his Security Council. Putin did not elaborate on what exactly the introduction of martial law would change on the battlefield, as Russian forces are losing ground in the illegally annexed territories, including the southern Kherson region. Kiev's air defenses have shot down multiple Russian missiles above the capital, the city's mayor said. The British ambassador to Ukraine described hearing the air defenses kicking into action, while in a bomb shelter. She called the atmosphere in the capital calm. EU to sanction Iran for supplying Russia with drones to attack Ukraine. Brussels, the European Union is preparing to sanction Iran for supplying Russia with drones used to strike targets in Ukraine, according to 2 EU diplomats. In yet another sign of deteriorating ties between Brussels and Tehran, EU officials are working up a list of individuals and entities with an eye to reaching an agreement quickly, possibly as early as Wednesday. The new penalties would come less than a week after the bloc sanctioned Iran's morality police and information minister over the recent crackdown on protesters. With attacks ongoing, there is broad support for the sanctions, the diplomats said. Despite some fears that taking a tough stand could push Tehran closer to Moscow or further diminish hopes of resurrecting the 2015 Iran nuclear deal, Iran has denied it is supplying Russia with drones for use in Ukraine. Zelensky advisor, this does not change anything for Ukraine. Russia's decision to introduce martial law across 4 regions of eastern and southern Ukraine does not change anything. An advisor to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said Wednesday in response to the Kremlin's announcement. Martial law implementation on the occupied territories should be considered only as a pseudo-legalization of looting of Ukrainians' property by another regrouping, Mikhailo Podolyak said on Twitter. Last month, Moscow staged referendums in which occupied areas of Ukraine voted in favor of being annexed by Russia. Kiev and its allies widely rejected the results as sham votes illegal under international law. Ukraine's allies to discuss Iranian weapons at UN Security Council. The United States, Britain and France are expected to raise the issue of Iran transferring weapons to Russia at a closed-door meeting of the UN Security Council on Wednesday afternoon, according to diplomats familiar with the situation. The decision follows US and European concerns about Russian attacks on Ukrainian cities and critical infrastructure using Iranian drones. The drones that Russia has been deploying, Ukrainian and US officials say, are manufactured in Iran, where they are known as Shahed 136s. They are designed to strike specific targets with explosives that can be delivered at distances of up to 1,500 miles, unlike many other attack drones. They do not use weapons to destroy their targets. They are the weapon. Russian missiles shot down over Kiev, mayor says. Ukrainian air defenses successfully shot down Russian missiles flying over the capital Wednesday, Kiev Mayor Vitaly Klitschko said on Telegram. He urged residents to stay in bomb shelters, while air raid sirens continued to blare across the city. One of those who heard the capital's air defenses blast into action was the British ambassador to Ukraine, Melinda Simmons. She described the sound of explosions and the total calm with which the capital's inhabitants rushed into bomb shelters. Everyone here has pulled out a laptop or phone and got on with their work or their continuing meetings, she said. Lockheed Martin plans to boost HIMARS production. Rocket artillery systems from 60 launchers annually to 96, Politico reported Tuesday, citing the company's CEO, James TItle, who spoke at a third-quarter earnings call. Last month, the Pentagon said it would double its commitment of HIMARS rocket systems to Ukraine as part of a $1.1 billion aid package. Russian attacks are causing massive blackouts, Zelensky says. Russian attacks are causing massive blackouts, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said Tuesday, adding that 30% of the country's power stations have been damaged by the attacks since October 10. He is set to hold a meeting Wednesday on the country's energy system amid mounting fears of power outages in the winter. Moscow continued attacks on Ukraine's energy grid this week, hitting a power facility in Kyiv 3 times Tuesday, a presidential aide said. Separately, Pentagon Press Secretary Patrick Ryder said Tuesday that rain, snow and mud would add another level of complexity to the battlefield this winter. He added, "This is why you see us continuing to work very closely with Ukraine, with our international partners and allies, to identify what Ukraine's needs are." NATO anti-drone systems to be delivered to Ukraine. NATO anti-drone systems will be delivered to Ukraine in the next few days, Jens Stoltenberg, the bloc's leader alliance's Secretary General, said Tuesday in Berlin. The air defenses will be capable of countering Iranian-made drones, he specified, after Ukraine accused Russia of using the weapons to barrage its capital Monday. Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba said he was ready to submit a bag of evidence to prove the drone's origin, Reuters reported, and he proposed severing diplomatic ties with Tehran completely. Russia evacuating Kherson residents amid warning of fighting in very near future. Pro-Kremlin separatist officials said the war's front line could reach the Russian-controlled city of Kherson soon, warning that Ukraine was preparing a large offensive in the region. One pro-Russian separatist official said Wednesday morning that a fight for the city could begin in the very near future. Russia's military on Wednesday morning ordered residents to leave, Russian state media reported. At least 50,000 residents will be transported out of the city, including to Russia, as part of plans for an operation that pro-Moscow authorities say will take about a week. Russia's RA Novosti news agency reported.